up in this class and completing the missing assignments. I think that if you've completed and turned in some missing assignments this week, you should applaud yourself and carry that motivation on to next week. Because I know that this class, there's a lot of you, it's the biggest class. So there tends to be a lot of missing assignments, but I have noticed the biggest improvement in this class. So let's go ahead and continue that and carry that on with us next week. But for class today, we're going to transition into the material. You'll need a number of items. I'll explain what you need, and then I'll give you a minute to gather everything. So you'll need page 35. You'll need 1.8. It's a new document. You'll need your word wall. You'll need a pen or a pencil, a highlighter, and a sticky note. So you'll need 6 different things. 1.8 word wall, page 35, pen or pencil, highlighter, and a sticky note.
No.
What page again?
35. All right, let's go ahead and check in. Does everyone have their 1.8 opened up? It's the orange document. Page 35. Highlighter. Pen or a pencil. Sticky notes. And your word wall. Nice. All right, so let's go ahead and look at page 35. You may have noticed that we're kind of going backwards a little bit in the book. So go ahead and locate learning targets and make sure you have your highlighter and your pen or pencil handy. We will be annotating. Let's go ahead and look at the first learning target, which starts with compare. Make sure you locate that in your book. And we're going to, as always, read our learning targets together. So let's start with the first learning target. Ready, begin. Compare with Great. So what's my first verb here? Compare. Compare. Is there another verb? Contrast. Excellent. Genres is actually not a verb. It's a noun. So what are we comparing and contrasting? Language and content in 2 texts in different genres. All right, so let's move on to the second learning target. It starts with explain. So let's read this together. Ready, begin? All right. So explain is my first verb. Is there another verb here? Construct. And what are we explaining? Writer's choices regarding language and content. And what are we constructing?
The meaning of a text.
Excellent. The meaning of a text. So we're going to figure out what certain texts mean. Does everyone have everything? No? So since we're comparing and contrasting 2 different texts, that means we're going to have 2 different readings. One of them, well, actually I think you'll really, I like the readings, I think you will too. So let's go ahead and learn a little bit about who and what we're going to read about. So may I have a volunteer read, preview, and setting a purpose for reading? Jose, thank you.
This activity you will read two texts about the same incident by the same author, Luis de Rodriguez. In one version is a poem, the other is a prose. Setting the purpose for reading, underline words, phrases, or sentences that will create the voice of the narrator. Circle and long words or phrases. Try to determine the meaning of words by using context clues, word cards, or a dictionary.
Excellent. So poem and prose. So we have some definitions on I think it's the right-hand column or sidebar of your text for prose and poetry. Misael, would you please read the definitions for prose and poetry?
Prose is ordinary written or spoken language using sentences and paragraph without syllable or regular meter or rhyme. And poetry is written in lines or stanzas.
Thank you. So let's go ahead and annotate a little bit. If I were you, I would highlight prose and poetry because in our document, we're going to have to type out the definitions in our Cornell notes. So give yourself a mental note to come back there. Also, in the first bullet point, it gives us a task of what we're going to do while we read. So what is the first verb there in that first bullet point? Underline. So you can underline or you can highlight, whatever makes sense for you. But what are we highlighting or underlining? And this is your big idea here. What you can do is for the second bullet point, we're actually not going to do that, so you can put a little X there. I just want you to focus on the first bullet point for today. We're going to underline or highlight words, phrases, or sentences that help create the voice of the narrator. So let's go ahead and learn a little bit about the author. Yes. Sure, go ahead. Yes, please.
Award-winning author Luis de Rodriguez was born near the U.S.-Mexico border. He is a leading Chicano writer and is best known for his memoir of born life in Los Angeles, Always Running. Rodriguez left the gang life in his late teens and has since worked in many jobs from bus driver to newspaper reporter and community activist. He has developed many outreach programs to assist teens throughout the country. He continues to write both poetry and narrative works and is a co-organizer of the Chicago Poetry Festival.
Thank you. So Luis Rodriguez, and he is the author of the 2 different styles of readings that we're going to jump into. So let's go ahead and read Always Running first. So you're going to have one task while we read. Does anyone remember what we're going to do? It has to do with your highlighter. Stephanie? Exactly. So we're underlining or highlighting words, phrases, or sentences that help create the voice of the narrator. So does everyone have their highlighter ready? Okay, I will play the audio. Please follow along and read as well as listen at the same time.
From Always Running by Luis J. Rodriguez. One day, my mother asked Ron and me to go to the grocery store. We decided to go across the railroad tracks into Southgate. In those days, Southgate was an Anglo neighborhood, filled with the families of workers from the auto plant and other nearby industries. Like Linwood or Huntington Park, it was forbidden territory for the people of Lost. My brother insisted we go. I don't know what possessed him, but then I never did. It was useless to argue. He forced me anyway. He was 9 then, I was 6. So without ceremony, we started over the tracks, climbing over discarded market carts and tore up sofas, across Alameda Street into Southgate, all white, all American. We entered the first small corner grocery store we found. Everything was full at first. We bought some bread, milk, soup cans, and candy. We each walked out with a bag filled with food. We barely got a few feet, though, when 5 teenagers on bikes approached. We tried not to pay any attention and proceeded to our side of the tracks. But the youths pulled up in front of us. While 2 of them stood nearby on their bikes, 3 of them jumped off theirs and walked over to